Everybody, today we're doing a basic level 1 yoga flow. All you need is a mat and 2 blocks, and you can meet me in a seated position. So once you come onto your mat, we can cross our legs, maybe move back and forth a little bit. Move the fleshy parts out from underneath our sits bones, bring our eyes to a close. Hands can be on the lap, palms face down or palms face up. Just see what's more comfortable for you. Draw the shoulders down the back and create energy in the spine. So grow taller from the base of the spine all the way to the crown of the head, just like a string is pulling you up from the midsection. Draw your attention to the muscles in your face. So maybe you need to unhinge the jaw, relax the tongue, separate the teeth. Relax the space in between the eyebrows. And then come to noticing your breath. So on the next inhale, filling up the belly with air. Next exhale, letting it flow out. And again, inhale, filling up that belly with fresh air through the nose. Exhale. Let it out. One more time, inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it out. And when you're ready, returning the breath to its natural state. Noticing the space that you're in, noticing how your body feels already sitting on your mat. When you're ready, I invite you to glide your eyes open. Next inhale, reach the arms all the way up towards the sky. Moving into a lateral stretch. So those left fingertips are going to come down on the mat, tensing those ups. Right arm is coming up and over, finding length. Fingertips are moving towards the left side of that room. We're finding space in that left arm, so maybe walking those left fingertips out a little bit more, drawing that left shoulder down away from the ear. Creating space through the neck. And now we're here, so maybe you inhale that heart more towards the ceiling, that right shoulder can move back. And keep plugging that right hip into the mat. Feel the stretch all the way from that right hip towards those right fingertips. When you're ready, next inhale, raise both arms up overhead. Moving onto the other side, exhale, right fingertips down, tensing them up, lowering right shoulder away from the ear. Inhale, left arm up and over. Keep plugging that left hip down in towards the ground. Maybe we rotate the heart up towards the sky, shoulder comes back. Take a breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Next inhale, move through center. Rise all the way up through the sky. Feel the stretch all the way from the hips up through the spine, up through the fingertips, and exhale, arms down by our sides. We are going to meet in a table posture. So in our table position, hands are under the knees are under the hips. So we spread the fingers wide like starfish, pressing them into the ground. Those shoulders are over the wrists. We create a long spine and our head is an extension of it. Tailbone is neutral, taps of the feet are pressing into the mat, and our knees are parallel with each other. And to know how they're parallel, we just peek behind our thighs, and if our feet are hidden behind them, that's how you know everything is even. So now we come back to that neutral table and we move into cat-cows. Starting with our cow, we tuck the toes, the tailbone lifts up, belly drops down, heart shines in between the shoulders. We press the ground away. We lift up with the gaze. And for our cat, as we exhale, we untuck the toes. Tailbone drops, spine rounds, that belly button is tucking in towards the spine. We press the ground away, head drops in between the arms. And again, inhale, drop the belly, tailbone lifts, tuck the toes, press into the earth, heart shines through the shoulders. And exhale, round the spine, head drops down. One more time. Inhale, drop the belly, tailbone lifts, toes tuck, press the earth away. And exhale, untuck the toes, tailbone dips down, press the ground away, spine rounds. And find your neutral tabletop position. When you're ready, we're going to move into our first downward facing dog. So as our hands walk about a hand's length in front of us, our fingers are staying nice and spread wide. Our elbows are coming in towards each other. So as the elbows are moving towards the front of the room, we're pressing out of the shoulders. Those knees are still under the hips. We're finding length in the arms. As we tuck the toes, we press into the balls of the feet. We tuck the belly in. We lift the hips up and back as the knees lift off of the ground. That heart moves more towards the thighs. That energy is coming down the back of the legs. And the heels are going towards the ground. Maybe if you still feel some rounding in the spine, you take a slight bend in the knee, press through the earth, send that tailbone even more back. Take a breath, inhale. And exhale. And when you're ready, bending your knees as many steps as you need, take a stroll to the top of your mat. And we're meeting in our Uttanasana forward fold. So feet about hip distance apart. Knees can be bent, head drops in between the shoulders. Arms are long. When you're ready, slowly rise yourself up to stand, moving towards your Tadasana, mountain pose. So looking down, we're going to look at our toes and lift all 10 toes off of the ground and then place them back down. So really feel all 4 corners of the toes touching the mat and all 4 corners of the feet touching the mat. And then really let that energy rise up the legs. Let it strengthen up those thighs. Slight tuck of the tailbone, belly in, ribs tucked in. Palms are faced out. Get an outer rotation of those shoulders. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Crown of the head is reaching towards the sky. Take a breath. Next, inhale, moving into our sun salutation. Inhale, rise the arms all the way up overhead. Create length in the side body. As we exhale, we hinge from the hips, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. So as our halfway lift, we're finding a long spine, shoulders are coming back, length in the spine, crown of the head reaching towards the front in the room. And exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. One more time, another sun breath. Inhale all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Hinge from the hips, tuck the belly in. Give yourself some room. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Next, exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Bend the knees, let the palms find the mat. We're stepping both feet all the way back into our plank. So hips are lifted. Heels are over the balls of the feet. Hands are pressing into the ground or pressing out of the shoulders. As we come in for our first knees, chest, chin, we exhale, knees onto the ground. Toes are still tucked. Elbows are reaching back towards each other. Just like we did in that cow pose, we're lifting those hips up. Shoulders come back, elbows come back. As we exhale, just the chin and the chest are coming towards the mat. Hips are staying lifted. We press off of the feet, slide onto the belly. Shoulder blades are squeezing together. As we inhale, head, neck, and chest off of the ground. Gazes towards the top of the mat. Our low Cobra Bhujangasana. Exhale, forehead down towards the mat. Lift both feet up and stretch the legs out towards the back of the room. Point the toes to really activate the thighs. Press the pelvis down into the earth. Squeeze the shoulder blades and the elbows together. Make sure those hands are by the lower ribs. Light pressure on those hands as you squeeze the back muscles. Inhale, head, neck, and chest. Bhujangasana off of the earth, relax the glutes. Exhale. Forehead drops down. As we come into a long table, hips are over the knees, hands are slightly in front. We come in for our second downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. We tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, keep that belly in. And when we're ready, take a stroll to the top of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale for your halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana fold. Inhale, Ardha Hastasana, all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, hands down by your sides, Tadasana, palms faced out. As we inhale one more time, Ardha Hastasana. Next exhale, hands come onto the waist. Moving into our Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1. Looking down, again, picking all 10 toes up, bringing them back down, feeling all 4 corners of the feet touching the mat. Maybe we put slightly more pressure on that left leg and on that left foot, supporting our body with it. And then gently stepping that right foot about 2 to 3 feet back behind us. Those back toes should be facing the upper right corner of the mat. And then maybe so we're not on a tightrope, we're more on train tracks, a little bit of a separated stance. We just shift that left foot over towards the left just a little bit. You still want it in line with the hip. Hands onto the waist, and then we exhale that front knee over that front ankle. Keep pressing into the outer edge of that back foot and keep lifting through that back thigh. And then making sure our hips are squared. Left hip back, right hip forward. Slight tuck of the tailbone, belly tucked in, ribcage tucked in, shoulders over the hips. Inhale, arms up overhead. Gently draw the pinky fingers in towards each other. And then again, pressing through the earth, lifting through the hips, feeling that stretch in the side body, that openness in the armpits. Breathe. Virabhadrasana 1. Moving on to our Parsvottanasana, our extended side angle. As we exhale, hands are coming onto the waist. We inhale, straighten through that front leg, still making sure those hips are straight. Right hip comes forward, left hip comes back. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, elbows are coming back so that heart is leading forward. Gentle bend in that front knee so we don't hyperextend that leg. And we exhale, leading with the heart, hinging from those hips. Still kicking out through that back thigh to create length. And once we find that we can't go anymore without rounding our spine, we can either find the ground, or if you have blocks, you use your blocks. The blocks are coming underneath the shoulders. Hands can be flat, hands can be tented. Press into the blocks out of the shoulders, create length in the spine. Stretch out through the side body, crown of the head reaching towards the top of the room. Keep pressing into those feet. Breathe. Take a big inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. When you're ready, remove the blocks to the side. Next, inhale. Hands come onto the waist. We press into the feet, ground down to lift our torso all the way up. Slightly bend through that front foot, and gently stepping the back foot up to meet the front. So back in our Tadasana. Inhale, arms up, create length. Exhale, hands onto the waist. Moving on to the other side. So Virabhadrasana 1. This time creating pressure, stepping in and grounding down through that right foot. We step that left foot about 2 to 3 feet back behind us. Back toes are reaching towards the top left corner of the mat. Maybe we shift that right foot out just a smidge. We want to make sure we're on those train tracks. We have an even stance so that we can square off of our hips. We want space. So Placing our hands on our waist, bringing that left hip forward, right hip back. And again, tucking that tailbone, shoulders over those hips. Take a big inhale. Exhale, front knee over that front ankle. Inhale, arms up overhead, spiral those pinky fingers in. So this allows us to get more of an opening in those outer armpits. So a nice stretch, and you're going to feel it alongside the arms. Pressing into the outer edge of that back corner, making sure that front knee is strong over that front ankle, shoulders are relaxed. Take a big inhale in. Breathe out. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Another inhale. Next, exhale, hands come onto the waist for our extended side angle on the other side, our Parsvottanasana. So as we inhale, we straighten through that front leg, but still keeping a slight bend so we keep that back hamstring safe. We're not hyperextending it. Hands onto the waist. We're squeezing the shoulder blades together, squeezing the elbows back, moving forward with that heart when we can't go anymore, when we reach that edge, still keeping that long spine. We find those blocks, we find the floor, know what's good for you. And again, drawing that right hip back, left hip forward. Lengthen throughout the spine, crown of the head towards the front of the room, pressing out of those shoulders. Find your breath, find your space. See where you can find the stretch, but if you feel any pain sensation, back out of the stretch a little bit. Create a little bit more bend in that front knee. Big breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Keep lifting up through those feet, out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Next, inhale, ground down into the feet. Hands come onto the waist. We lift the torso up. And then when you're ready, moving the blocks out of the way. And then stepping that back foot up to meet the front. Inhale, rise the arms all the way up, Parsvottanasana. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Svanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, Parsvottanasana. Exhale, hands onto the waist. When you're ready, we're meeting in a wide-legged stance on our mat. So feet wider than the hips, wider than the shoulders. But wide enough and close enough where all of the four corners of the feet are grounded down into the mat. Toes are pointing forward. Hands are on the hips, moving into our Virabhadrasana 2, so our Warrior 2. And we're doing this on the left side first. So shifting from that whole top left thigh, turning the whole left thigh out to the left as well as those toes out to the left. And we want to make sure that that front heel is intersecting that back arch of that right foot. And then we want to check on the hip. So if we're drawing that hip out towards the right too much, we want to bring it back in towards the midline. So even though our right toes and our left toes are pointing in two different directions, we want both our hips to be like headlights towards the right side of the room. Next, exhale, bringing that front knee, that left knee over that front ankle. Next, inhale, rise the arms up so they're even with the shoulders. Create length in the fingertips, so really stretch the arms out. Create length around the back. Gaze is reaching over that left middle finger. So keep pressing into that back outer edge of the back foot. Keep pressing down with that tailbone squaring off in those hips. Keep that heart forward, shoulders down. Moving into our extended side angle, our Parsvakonasana. As we bring that left forearm on top of that left thigh, that right arm reaches up and over. Inhale, up overhead. Remember, we're not pressing into that left arm too much. So we're just merely resting it. A lot of that strength is coming from the core. So notice where your head wants to be. It could look down, it could look center, or it could look up. Keep spiraling out with that right shoulder. When you're ready, ground down to lift up. Next inhale through your warrior two. Exhale, hands onto waist, straighten through that left foot. Return the left toes towards center. Moving on to the other side, our warrior two, our Bhujangasana two on the right. From the top of that right thigh, turning the whole right thigh out, right toes moving towards the right side of that room. Right heel is intersecting with that left arch. We're exhaling that front knee over that right ankle and then lifting in with that left hip. So making sure it's not coming out towards the left too much, bringing everything in towards the midline. So shoulders over hips. Next inhale, bring the belly in, lift the arms up. Gaze is over that right fingertip, so really stretching out through those arms, making sure that right knee isn't coming in towards the right. You want to bring it up through center. So if I look down, I can see that my right knee is tracking over that first big toe and second toe. Tuck in the belly, tuck in the ribs, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Take a big breath. Next exhale, Parsvottanasana. Right forearm rests gently on that right thigh. Left arm comes up and over. So left fingertips are pointing to the top left corner of the room. We're still pressing into the outer edge of that back foot, pressing into that front foot, and also pressing into that front pinky toe. That's going to give us a lot of anchor in that pose. Tuck in the belly to spiral the heart out a little bit more, making sure we're not dipping that shoulder down. We want everything to be open. Take a big inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, back to your warrior two. Legs are staying the same, just lifting through the torso. Arms are coming out. Big breath in. Exhale, hands onto the waist, straightening through that front leg. Toes are returning towards the front of the mat. And this time, turning those left toes out just so we can bend through that left knee and then step through up to stand. Coming into a sun breath. Inhale, arms come up. Reach up through the sky. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Exhale, drop the head down. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Find your halfway lifts, whatever that means for you. So pressing into the feet. Lifting a little bit through the tailbone. Strengthening and lengthening out through that spine. Tucking that belly in. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, arms all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, bend the knees. Palms can find the mat. This time we're stepping into our plank. Our knees come down onto the mat, our toes untuck. The hips are drawing back towards the heels. And to come onto our mat, we're going to swing those legs over to the right and in front of us. When you're ready, we grab onto our blocks as we come into our supported fish. So, setting up for our supported fish. The first block can be on the medium height, the lowest height, or the highest height. You choose which is best for you. The medium height is going to give you more of a relaxation and restorative pose. The higher heights are going to give you more of a chest opener. So as it's on the lowest height, the second block can be on the highest, medium, or lowest. Again, mine are going to be on the lowest. And you want the first block to hit right above that upper back, almost not even coming past those lower ribs. And the top block is going to be for your head. So moving on to the block, we're sitting on our sits bones, knees are bent, feet are on the floor, getting a nice foundation. And as we lean back, we can just gauge where the block is. Move it where you need, adjust where you need. And then once you have that upper back comfortably on that lower block, we move that upper block under our head. So making sure we feel no pain. And then the arms can gently come out to the sides. We feel a nice chest opener. Palms come up towards the ceiling, and see what you want to do with the legs. So they can either stay like this, soles of the feet can come together in Baddha Konasana, or they can be long on the mat. We stay here for 3 breaths. Just feel the feet gently fall away if your legs are out. Feel the chest open through that upper back. Feel the arms fall away from the body. And one last breath. And as you're ready to come out of the pose, we're bringing our arms at our sides, our forearms are pressing down into the ground, our palms are pressing down into the ground, our shoulders are moving back. We tuck the chin in towards the chest, gently press into the forearms to lift ourselves up off of the blocks. And then gently place the blocks off to the side. And now we are ready for our Savasana. So instead of just going back in our Savasana, first we're going to raise our hands right in front of us, keep them out long, have a long spine, and then gently round back all the way down. And just vertebrae by vertebrae until you gently hit the mat, and then bring your arms out to your sides. Starting with the feet, so maybe bringing the feet out as wide as the corners of the mat, giving yourself some space. Letting the toes, letting the feet just fall away from each other. And as you move up the legs, just feeling the legs pressed into the mat. Feeling the glutes release. Feeling the lower back release. Feeling the mid back release. Feeling the upper back release. Feeling the abdomen rest. Feel the shoulders fall back. Feel the arms lengthen. And feel the fingers relax. Feel the neck long. And feel the space around the face rest. Relaxing the muscles. So maybe you unhinge the jaw. Separate the teeth. Relax the tongue. Notice if your eyes are fluttering, see if you can let those eyelids be just a bit more heavier. And let the space between the eyebrows rest. And let the head feel really heavy onto the mat. And start coming into your breath. So noticing your inhales and your exhales, letting that air flow through the nose on the inhale, and gently out of the mouth on the exhale, feeling the air move through the lips. Moving in through the nose, and exhale out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And then returning your breath to a natural state. Letting these few moments just be for yourself. start gently noticing the space that you are in the room without moving a thing. Still keeping the eyes heavy, notice the space that you're in. Notice the mat fully supporting your body. Notice the sounds that you hear around you. And when you're ready, start taking some deeper breaths in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And then letting that breath inspire some small movements. So maybe wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. And then on the next inhale, rise the arms up overhead, reaching towards the back of the room. And then stretch into the heels, maybe pointing the toes, rolling out the wrists, rolling out the ankles. And on the next inhale, bring both knees in towards the chest. Squeeze the knees in towards you. And then when you're ready, falling over to the right in this fetal curl. Maybe you use the right arm as a pillow to rest your head. And taking about 2 more breaths here. And then using the strength of both arms, gently bring yourself up to a seated position on your mat. Whatever that means for you, don't worry about where you land. Keep the eyes heavy, keep that quiet space within. When you get there, feel the mat under your sits bones. Bring energy through the spine, sit up really nice and tall, roll the shoulders down the back. Inhale the hands to prayer in front of the heart and gently bow the chin towards the chest in gratitude for your practice today. Take a moment to silently thank yourself for coming onto your mat, for doing something for your mind, body, and spirit. On the next inhale, I invite you to raise the head up and glide the eyes open. Thank you so much, everybody, for practicing with me. I hope you liked this basic level 1 yoga flow. I hope you all have a good day. Namaste.